The year is 1936. America is drowning in the Great Depression. Confidence is shattered, hope is scarce, and people are desperately searching for a hero, an underdog who could prove that even the smallest, most forgotten soul could win. They found that hero not in Washington, but at the racetrack. He was a horse bred for greatness, yet deemed a failure. He was too small, too lazy, too cheap, and too cranky. His knees were perpetually sore, and his primary skill was sleeping. But this cast-off, purchased for a paltry $8,000, would rise to become the most electrifying symbol of hope America had ever seen. He would face the undisputed champion of the East, Admiral, the epitome of racing royalty, in a legendary clash that stopped the nation. This wasn't just a horse race, it was the Depression-era spirit charging down the homestretch. Seabiscuit's pedigree promised greatness. He was foaled in 1933, a grandson of the legendary Man o' War, a name synonymous with equine perfection. Expectations were sky high, but Seabiscuit quickly became known for everything his bloodline was not. He was smaller than average, had an ungainly gait, and exhibited a deeply rooted lethargy. His early trainer, the legendary Sonny Jim Fitzsimmons, found the horse talented but frustratingly lazy. Fitzsimmons tried to break the horse's spirit, demanding constant work. The result? Seabiscuit became sullen, rebellious, and prone to bad habits, including excessive sleeping and eating. He performed adequately, racing 35 times as a 2-year-old, but achieving only minor wins. He was a loser, destined to be a cheap, forgettable claiming horse. By 1936, the horse's value had plummeted. Fitzsimmons, desperate to offload the disappointing animal, offered him for sale. The man who bought him was Charles Howard, a millionaire pioneer who made his fortune selling Buicks in the booming American West. Howard had a profound belief in second chances and a love for the underdog. He purchased Seabiscuit for what felt like a bargain, $8,000. Howard shipped the horse west, far from the pressure and rigidity of the Eastern racing establishment. He had a horse, but he needed a team to unlock the potential hidden beneath Seabiscuit's lazy exterior. He needed a trainer who saw past the pedigree and a jockey who understood pain. The turning point for Seabiscuit came with the 3 unconventional figures who formed his team of castoffs. Tom Smith was a quiet, stoic Western horseman, a man dubbed the Lone Plainsman. Smith didn't train horses, he rehabilitated them. He saw the fire in Seabiscuit's eyes, hidden beneath the exhaustion. Smith's methods were radical for the time. He didn't demand, he persuaded. He gave Seabiscuit time, patience, and a strange collection of stable companions, including a stray dog named Pokaima and a monkey named Gelt, to ease his anxiety. Smith understood that Seabiscuit's problem wasn't physical, it was psychological. Under Smith's care, Seabiscuit learned to enjoy running again. The rider, Red Pollard, was a former boxer whose own life was a series of setbacks. He was partially blind in one eye, a dangerous secret he kept hidden, and was often dismissed as too big and too wild to ride a top-class thoroughbred. Pollard and Seabiscuit were a perfect match. Both were short-tempered, proud, and suffered chronic injuries. Pollard spoke to Seabiscuit constantly, understanding the horse's signals and coaxing the best out of him through encouragement, not the whip. This unlikely trinity, the visionary owner, the quiet healer, and the battered rider, turned the cheap, lazy horse into a winning machine. In 1937, Seabiscuit won 10 stakes races, shattering records across the country and captivating the public imagination. He was the West's new darling, and his success inevitably drew the attention of the snobbish Eastern racing establishment. By 1938, Seabiscuit was an international celebrity. He received more newspaper coverage than Franklin D. Roosevelt or Adolf Hitler. He represented the common man's spirit, proof that luck could change. America demanded a showdown with the ultimate champion, Admiral. Admiral was a Triple Crown winner, younger, faster, and also a son of Man o' War. He was everything Seabiscuit was not. Tall, impeccably bred, disciplined, and ridden by the best jockeys money could buy. This was more than a race. It was East versus West, factory versus farm, and royalty versus ragamuffin. The first attempts to schedule the race failed, fueling the frenzy. But tragedy struck the underdog team before the final arrangement could be made. In a devastating accident, Red Pollard broke his leg in 2 places, shattering his career and his hope. Howard hired George Iceman Wolfe, a brilliant, calm rider, to take Pollard's place. But Seabiscuit, loyal and sensitive, lost his edge without Pollard. Finally, the race was set. The Pimlico Special in Baltimore, November 3, 1938. The champion, War Admiral, versus the people's champion, Seabiscuit. Days before the race, Pollard, still on crutches, performed a critical final act. Hobbling to the track rail, he gave Wolfe one final critical piece of advice about how to ride Seabiscuit in the first few strides. The stage was set for the most important horse race in American history. On November 1, 1938, 40,000 people crammed into Pimlico, and an estimated 40 million listened on the radio. The atmosphere was electric. This was the moment of truth for the nation's underdog. War Admiral, known for his explosive start, was expected to pull away immediately. But Wolfe, following Pollard's instruction, startled Seabiscuit with a surprise tap out of the gate, and the little horse matched War Admiral stride for stride. In a shocking tactical move, Wolfe allowed Seabiscuit to look directly War Admiral in the eye, something the Eastern champion was not used to. The 2 horses battled for the lead in a grueling back-and-forth duel. Around the final turn, War Admiral began to tire. Wolfe, recalling Pollard's words, gave Seabiscuit the signal, and the little bay pulled ahead. Seabiscuit won by 4 lengths. The crowd went insane. Seabiscuit returned west a national hero, but his career wasn't quite finished. In 1939, he suffered a career-threatening injury, a ruptured suspensory ligament. Most believed he was done, but Pollard, recovered enough to walk, nursed Seabiscuit back to health. The horse and the man, both broken, both healing, trained together until they were ready for one last goal, the Santa Ana Handicap, the 100 Grander, a race Seabiscuit had heartbreakingly lost twice before. In February 1940, in a fairy tale ending, Seabiscuit won the Santa Ana Handicap in a track record time. He retired as the leading money-winning horse in history. Seabiscuit didn't just win races. He gave a beaten-down generation reason to believe that the future held better days. He retired a legend, the greatest underdog hero America has ever known. Seabiscuit's story is a timeless reminder that true greatness often comes wrapped in an unassuming package. He proved that the power of heart and the belief in a second chance can overcome any obstacle, no matter how great the depression or how fierce the competition. We hope this journey through racing history has inspired you. Now tell us in the comments, do you think Seabiscuit's personality was more important to his success than his raw physical ability? And which other famous horse race should we cover next on Living Horse? If you enjoyed this underdog tale, please like this video, subscribe for more stories of noble steeds, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next chapter.